I'm here now because I've made a decision. And who knows, maybe in freaking 3 weeks from now, I'm not here. All right. But the thing is, I'm going to make decisions. When something happens, I'm going to make a decision. I'm not going to just sit there and just let life happen to me. I refuse to do that because it doesn't make any sense. I deserve better. I deserve to have the control, at least to be like people out there who are talking about, oh, the government can't make me do this. Government can't make me do that. But you sure as hell control yourself and put yourself in a box and don't allow yourself to grow. Like you don't give yourself freedom. Like you have to do things. You got to make actions. And that it's a lot more about action than it is about words. A lot more. And if you aren't doing that, then you lost it. And you got to take a reset. And you got to say to yourself, hey, you know what? I'm willing to spend a couple $1,000s to get a freaking life coach because I'm not where I want to be right here. And who knows if it's supposed to be exactly what I thought it was, even more. But if it's going to bring me value, then let me just go ahead and sign up for it. You know what? And if I lose a couple $1,000s off of it, you know what? I got a learning experience from it, one, and I'm going to make that money back. I'm going to make that money back tenfold because I learned something from that. I'm investing in myself. If you invest in yourself, it's not a bad investment. If you're investing in yourself, it is not a bad investment because I count on me. Like I know that I'm going to win. No matter what, I'm going to win. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I thank God for my ability to be able to be smart. Yeah, I thank God for my ability to, to have a family. I thank God for my ability to be able to have my physical, well-being and whatnot. But regardless of what happens, I'm going to figure it out. Because that's a decision that I'm making every single day, that I'm not going to just stop. I'm not going to be submissive to an idea that this is not for me. I don't have imposter syndrome. I truly believe that I deserve to be where I am. Like everybody, I don't know if everybody does this, but I know that when I was growing up, I used to always hear the idea, you can be who you want to be.
Hey, Legacy Makers! Welcome to episode 8 of CGTV. I am so excited for you to hear what Chris has in store for you tonight. Enjoy this episode. Here we go.
Look at you on the camera.
I see myself.
Oh my gosh. Did you just trip?
Yeah, goodbye.
Hang on.
Oh my goodness.
Chris, we live, baby.
We live?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Hello, welcome. Let's get into it, man. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. What are you worried about?
I'm making sure that we're running. You're pretty
Man, we're running, baby. Alrighty. So, happy November 22nd. Allie was very, very eager to show her parents that she's on CGTV, so we make sure that she's able to get on there with a lot of energy, so I love it. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. This episode is not brought to you by just yet by Body Armor, but soon it will be. So, let's get into it. All right. Brent, do me a favor, man.
Yep.
Where are my slides at?
They should be pulled up.
Oh, I got them. All right, appreciate that. What's up, Jason? What's up, Richard? All right, let's get into it. All right, so first and foremost, you know how we do it, guys. We know how to do it. No matter where you're coming from, wherever you're at in that metaverse, is what they call it nowadays?
Yeah, it's the metaverse.
Whatever you are in the metaverse or CNN or Fox News or ESPN or YouTube, wherever you're at, let us know where you're coming from, and also let us know if this is live. What's up, Tyler? Tyler Johnson, I haven't seen you forever. What's up, John Scanfield? How you doing? Justin, how you guys doing? Let me know if this is live versus hashtag replay. All right, Richard Lee. Shout out to Richard Lee. I heard Richard Lee and Bob Turner did like 28 or something role plays over like a week's time span. So awesome to hear from you guys. What's up, Matt? How you guys doing today? All right, so awesome subject we're talking about today. And we'll get into it. And it is something that I would say it's simple, but it's not easy sometimes.
No, it's not.
And the lack of ease comes from just us not thinking, but it's a very simple thing to do. So we'll talk about that today. Do you have the slides already shown on the screen?
Yeah, but before we start, we need to congratulate some people.
You're right. I apologize, brother. You're right. All right, so first and foremost, Allie kind of brought it up, the Legacy Makers. I want to go ahead and say, great job. Welcome to the team. As far as the Legacy Maker team, way to graduate from Wealth Builder, now being a side Legacy Maker. We'll give it up to Rob Long. All right, love Rob. Actually had a call with him today. Rob's doing some awesome stuff. While I was on the call with him, He was like, yes. I was like, what happened, man? He said, $10,000 just came through. So Rob Long out of Kansas City, Kansas, not Missouri. Love it. All right, also, we got Bobby Brooks, all right, from Brooks and Sons. Bobby is got 8 kids, I believe.
I think so.
8 children. So like building his legacy the right way. I think recently he actually posted about him, joining the team, being super eager to get back into Legacy Maker X, Y, and Z. So awesome on that. And I give a special shout out to Bubba Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Bubba Hogan actually just messaged me. So Bubba Hogan put Christmas lights on. He does dreamscapes, and you can find him on midsouthponds.com. But he is a pond contractor, and he also does Christmas lights during this time of year. And he did Christmas lights at my parents' house in Memphis, Tennessee. And just shot me over a picture of it, man. Look at this. I'm not sure if you can see that, guys can see that, but look at that, man. It's pretty cool.
I see it. It's lovely.
Yeah, so love it. Absolutely love it. Welcome, guys. You guys are legacy makers. You guys are doing the right stuff for you and your family. It's not just about being here today. It's not about being in the proposal writing business. It's not about having a business that you can't scale and step away from. You want to be able to have a business you actually can build and build a legacy for. So good job to you guys. All right. Also, before we get into it, Keith Smith I think just actually joined on as well. So congratulations, Keith Smith. Keith Smith is a Backyard Depot in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He does ponds as well. So congratulations to him as well. If he's we'll give him an official next week on the call.
Yes, sir.
All right. We also want to welcome some awesome wealth builders. All right. So we got Terry in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Is how you say this?
Yeah.
I know I was going to butcher this today.
I told you were going to.
Yeah. So, but anyway, he is our northern brother in Canada.
Terry, it's been a long time coming.
Love it. I'm absolutely excited for it. Also, we got Tyson. Tyson's with Nava Electric Inc. Him, his father, and his mother kind of all working together. Provo, Utah, doing some awesome stuff. And then one of the most excited people that I've had recently enjoying Wealth Builder has been Ryan. Ryan Bowen was like, dude, I'm got some jobs coming up. I'm spending some money with you guys. He went forward with the 12.8, and then I think he actually bought a 4-wheeler. So awesome stuff. He's rebranding his business. So congratulations, man, out of Wisconsin. All I know is the Packers and cheese curds. That's pretty much all I know about Wisconsin.
And beer.
Oh, and beer, yeah. The brew crew.
Mm-hmm.
The brewers. All right, so let's get into it.
Hang on. Before you do, Chris, I'm going to adjust your audio real quick. Give me like 20 seconds.
Am I too loud?
No, you're too soft.
Okay, so while he adjusts my audio, how does that work? What are you going to come do?
I'm just going to adjust this cord. Chris, can you start talking? Bring the mic closer to you.
Branson Rayner says, Legacy Maker coming soon, rain or shine. Dude, I love that name so much.
Such a good name.
Fellow Wisconsinite. Justin, do you know about Summer Shandy, a.k.a. the Leinenkugels? I actually know Lindsay and Katie Leinenkugel, if that makes me any cool at all, from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. That's all I know about Wisconsin. So, am I good to go, Ben?
Yeah, you sound better.
All right. Well, in the same vein. All right, so if you guys want to talk about this stuff, if you guys want to become legacy makers and wealth builders, you got to start first by jumping on board. All right, so what I'll do right now is I'll let Mike put in the chat. But, excuse me, if you've been thinking for too long, hey, I hear this stuff, I see this stuff, and I actually want to join this movement. I actually want to be a contractor who's able to scale my business in the right way, spend way less time on estimates, spend more time in the, working on the things that actually matter in the business, all right, and on the business, and get outside this rat race of not being able to get to where you want to go, not have realistic goals, but the goals that actually move the needle. If you want to do those things, hop on board. Let's stop talking about it and start being about it, and I'd love for you guys to be here. All right, but let's get after it, man. Let's talk about the agenda. You ready for it?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so today, the reason why I'm talking a little faster than normal, I talk pretty fast all the time, but the reason I'm talking about a little faster than normal today is because today is an action-packed, very tangible things we can do today. All right, so we're going to talk about what's the difference between a smart and a complacent business owner. All right, what's the differences? What are the main factors that separate ourselves as a smart or complacent business owner? Then we're going to talk about the 3 things that smart contractors do that you've got to make sure that you dial in on. All right, we're going to go through them in detail with examples. We're going to make sure you have tangible things leaving this conversation. All right, we're going to talk about recurring revenue, the foot in the door, and the value from past customers. All right, so if you guys are ready for it, if you guys are ready, go ahead and put ready in the chat box right now, because if you guys are ready, I want to get into it, and I want to make sure we spend some real good time talking about the 3 things that smart contractors, smart business owners do. So if you guys are ready right now, let me go ahead and see ready in the chat box. We'll get straight to it. Mike, while we're waiting,
Yep.
who plays Monday Night Football tonight?
We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
Yep.
taking on the New York Giants.
All right, so, well, I guess Brady, he doesn't have a good pass record against Eli / the Giants, but I know he doesn't play for the Giants anymore, so he should be pretty good, right?
Bucks by 1 million.
Bucks by 1 million?
Yeah.
All right. So, we'll get it. So, we're ready. All righty. 3 things that smart contractors do. There are 3 things that you should really be thinking about as a contractor. All right? You should be thinking about. The first thing is you want to have a reoccurring revenue model. All right? A reoccurring revenue model. Last week on CGTV, we talked about the CARE model, K-A-R-E, which stands for keep, attain, recapture, and expand. The attain portion of that is where most people put their focus, maybe even all their focus. All right? How am I able to attain new clients all the time? All right? What's the problem with that, Mike? What's the problem if you do not focus on a recurring revenue model and you only talk about attaining new clients? Walk me through that, man.
There's a big missed opportunity because you're missing out on potential revenue stream that's the easiest to generate, right?
Okay.
If it's recurring, it not even easiest, maybe it's the most taxing, but it's exhausting trying to bring in new people consistently. And we've even seen it here sometimes, right? Where we know that some of our selling months are up, down. But because we have this recurring model now, we know that we have consistent revenue coming in, regardless of what happens in sales for the month.
All right, let me kind of dive in on that then. Here's the thing. First and foremost, you need a reoccurring revenue model because of the fact that it gives you the ability to have some sense of predictability and forecasting in your business. All right. If you do not have one, and you guys talk to me right now in the chat box, but if you do not have one, what happens is you're still going to have overhead. You're still going to have payroll. You're still going to have different things in your business that you got to pay for. And if you don't have the cushion, the predictability, the ability to forecast, from a reoccurring revenue model, you're really missing out on opportunities. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about different ways we can do that in all industries. All right, I think it may be pretty easy to think about how we can do it in landscaping. All right, but I want to talk to you guys how to do it specifically in landscaping. I think it may be pretty easy to think about how you're able to do this maybe in decking and fencing and painting. But I want to talk to you guys a proper way to do it that actually turns into real opportunities for you to have a recurring revenue model. And many of you are probably saying, oh, I'm a remodeler. I can't do that. All my people are just new clients, or even if they are repeat clients, having recurring revenue model doesn't make sense for me. Well, I'll tell you again, we currently have clients that are remodelers that have a recurring revenue model. And if you want to be able to take care of your business in the proper way, I highly suggest you looking at this opportunity for a recurring revenue model. All right. The second thing we're going to talk about is having a foot in the door. Having a foot in the door. When I say a foot in the door, Mike, we've gone through this together. Mm-hmm. What do you think I mean by that?
Well, do you want me to just give it away? We've been over this.
Well, you don't necessarily give it away, but I guess what I'm really trying to get at is the fact is that so many people they don't
know the opportunity that's in front of them.
They don't know the opportunity that's in front of them, and they're not thinking about it. And they're also not thinking the way that the client is actually thinking. We need to understand why the client actually buys. All right, so we'll go into that exactly, but why the client actually buys. And the last thing is about calling past customers. There's a whole backstory to this. Had a conversation with Stephanie Burgess this weekend, and it was a real good conversation. It happened on Saturday, and it was something that I think that she was a little hesitant about calling past customers. So actually right now, if you don't mind, Sean, do you mind go ahead and tagging Stephanie Burgess in this so that she gets to watch this part of it? Because I think that this is going to be some awesome stuff for you guys going forward. You feeling good, bud?
Yep.
All right. Woo! You ready?
I'm born ready.
Let's get it. All right, a reoccurring revenue model. If you guys are ready for this, let me go ahead and put double R's, 2 R's.
No. Put money signs in the chat.
Okay, money signs in the chat. We'll put money signs in the chat if you guys are talking about reoccurring revenue. All right, so what's the value of a reoccurring revenue model? All right, we mentioned a little bit earlier, but I'll ask you guys right now, in you guys' world, what would the value of having a reoccurring revenue model in your world be? All right, so we got people who are landscapers. I see Kyler Gibson. We got Richard Norheim, who is a remodeler. We got Chris Zeke, who also does landscaping. We got Jason Rector, who does custom homes. What's the value of having a reoccurring revenue model in your business? I want to hear from you guys in the chat. I love that, Barry. What's the value of you guys having a reoccurring revenue model in your business? What are the things that I highlighted earlier, not necessarily in this conversation, but I highlighted earlier about reoccurring revenue that really stuck out to you?
I like the idea to be able to forecast stuff out, right? Because once you grow that pool of income, like just through the recurring revenue, it then makes what you actually have to sell way less, right? And so just can I peel back the curtain for us a little bit?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course.
Like for us, we are at this
Let me go to this real quick. And I don't want to cut you off, but I'm reading right now some comments that say you don't have to sell them again. John Henry Scannum said you don't have to sell them again. All right, so you sold them once. The first sale is probably the hardest sale. You don't have to sell them again. Mm-hmm. Jared said being able to be away from the biz and still have money coming in. He actually put moolah, but money coming in. Mm-hmm. Jason talked about having a peace of mind. Terry said base income. Base income. When you hear base income, what does that do for you?
That's where I was going to go with this, right? So because right now we are about $200,000 or so from hitting our $2.5 million goal for the year. And because right now we now have 30 legacy makers, we know next month we're going to have $75,000 at a minimum come in next month through the legacy maker program, which means really all we have to sell is 125, and that's way more manageable than trying to sell 200 in at this point now like 30 or so days.
Think about this from a business standpoint for a second, if you can.
Mm-hmm.
A business standpoint. This is what the things we have to pay for. At CGN, we pay payroll. We're probably part of 4 masterminds, so money for those groups. We've got paying now health insurance. We're paying people's retirement, paying for the actual building here, paying for all the equipment, paying for whatever it may be. All those things are expenses that we have to pay regardless of us actually producing the work. And by that I mean new website sales,
right,
new wealth builder sales, new coaching calls and things like that. So when we have a reoccurring revenue model, it gives us a base to take care of a lot of those overhead expenses. It gives you the ability, you know why we're able to invest in ourselves in the way we want to? It's because we understand that we have a certain base so we can continue to invest in ourselves and grow the way we want to grow. What's the revenue goal next year?
$8 million.
Okay, $8 million. In order to hit $8 million, you have to be able to invest in yourself, especially if it's happening over a 12-month span. I mean, I think in Q3, we had a run rate of probably $3.2 million. So being able to go to those kind of extremes happens from us having a certain base that's there. I've talked to so many contractors out there that are talking about, hey, I just got to make sure I get through payroll this time. And I totally understand that. And the reason why it's happening is because there's a certain bit of fluctuation that's expected, all right, when we're dealing with only attain aspects of that 4 quadrants of the KARE. We're only focused on the attain and not focused on the entire part of it. All right? So all that's good and said and done, but we need to have a way. It helps with cash flow issues. Sean, great answer. Helps with cash flow issues. All that's all great, but if we don't actually have a way to doing it, it doesn't make any sense. All right, so let's go to the next slide so we can focus on this recurring revenue. You ready?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to go through just the 5 that kind of came to my head this morning when we were going through this. But if there's any specific industry you're talking about, we can work together to get there. But I want you guys to be focused on having a recurring revenue model in your business. We already talked about how valuable it is. Now let's talk about how to actually do it. All right, let's first start with ponds. All right, the genesis of this company is ponds. All right, Premier Ponds, the biggest pond company in North America, started by Steve Shinholzer, now owned by Andrew Ligon, is the genesis of where we are right now. All right, many people in the outdoor living space in our world want to do ponds because of the margins that ponds have. Mm-hmm. All right, but when it comes to recurring revenue model, the value or the opportunity that you have there is actual pond maintenance. Pond maintenance. Ponds are pretty predictable in the sense that in the spring, you gotta have a spring clean out. Towards the fall, towards winter, you need to put netting on the pond as well. Additionally, you need to be able to clean these ponds on a consistent basis. What generally happens is this. A pond is either something that I grew up around a body of water, or maybe I had a childhood pond. I move into a house that does not have a pond, and now I want a pond in my backyard. Or I've seen someone with a pond, and now I want a pond in my backyard. Everyone has this idea, or the saying that they say in the pond industry, that everyone wants a pond, they just don't know it yet. But what's happening here is this. There's also people, we need to understand why people, what happens to our clients, right? So there's also people in this world that are buying a house from a realtor, and they say, hey, don't worry about that pond, it's gonna be fine. And they have no idea how to clean it. They have no idea how to maintain it. So what they're doing is they're calling somebody up and having, we talk about exploratory draining clean, but having a situation where you're able to have a reoccurring maintenance to take care of someone's pond is a grand opportunity. All right? That one sounds pretty self-explanatory, does it not?
Yeah, it does. Do you know what Premier's 2022 recurring revenue goal is? Because I know what it is.
I don't know. Go ahead. If you don't, I mean, I'm
It's
sure.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so think about that for a second. If I had just in recurring revenue, just to take care of payroll and my overhead expenses, if my revenue goal was just for recurring revenue was $1 million, and that's not off of new installations, that's not off new builds, think about what that can do for your business. All right, the power in this stuff is huge. All right, I appreciate you sharing that, man.
Yep.
All right, next you have landscaping. Who out there does landscaping and hates mowing? Who out there does design and build and hates mowing or hates all the trouble that comes with traditional landscape maintenance? If you're a landscaper out there and you hate it, let me hear you chime in with some thumbs ups or whatever it may be. They hate it. All right? And I'm going to tell you right now from my perspective, I hate it myself, and I hate it for you, and here's why. Most people are only thinking about landscape maintenance in the sense of mowing or weeding and things like that. And the problem with that is this. The idea of the barrier of entry to those things is pretty low. All right? I bet you 90% of the people on this call have mowed grass before, and I bet you at least 80% of the people on this call have picked weeds before. Okay, what I highly suggest you do, if you're in landscaping, all right, understand that if you're only doing maintenance, maintenance is a volume play because traditionally the margins are pretty low. So if you're going to do maintenance in the landscape world, first and foremost, I highly suggest that you do design and build work and you only do landscape maintenance for those that you have done design and build work for. All right? Let me explain to you why. The reason why I suggest that, and Chris Zeke says he doesn't do mowing anymore, but he does other aspects of maintenance. The reason why I suggest that you do maintenance only for people you do design and build for is because you charged a higher margin to do those design and builds, so they understand and they're already preconditioned to be paying a higher premium for your work when it comes to the maintenance side. So your recurring opportunities are there, and I will say that your ideal clients are those who already spent money with you on the design and build, and I highly suggest that you're only doing maintenance for those that you've done design and build work for. All right, if that makes sense, Mike, I'm willing to move on, but give me your gauge on that.
I think we're good.
Okay.
I mean, I really like the idea of only doing landscape maintenance for the people that you have built for. Like, that just makes a lot of sense to me because you're the one that put it all together. They already know you. They already like you. They already trust you. And as a result, because they've already spent such a high price for their outdoor living space or whatever transformation you gave them, they're still going to be willing to hand over more money to keep that space maintained.
100%. Love it. All right, let's get to it. All right, fences and decks. And I'm going to put painting in there as well. Fences and decks. How many people, I hear this all the time, I think I've talked to Tyler Morgan about this on our Wealth Builder call, was it last week?
Yes.
So, how many people out there have seen fences and decks in disarray? Well before their time they should be. All right, wood just looks horrible. It's all grayed out because of the fact that it wasn't actually taken care of in the right way. All right, we've all seen it. We've all seen someone spend $60,000 on a deck, and 3 years later, it looks like crap.
Wood rotted, not great.
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all. All right, a large part of that is driving the narrative that, hey, so your deck can be maintained, so your fence can be maintained, you've got to stain and seal this thing. You've got to stain and seal it. All right, I got my gold chain out today. The reason why is because last week, Lawan hit his first $1 million. And just so you guys know, here at CGN, we are really big on, or not really big, our bread and butter is growing your business to $1 million plus at 25% net. All right, so that every single $1 million that you operate at, that you're able to put in $250,000 in your pocket. So we had Lawan, who's been in business for about 14 months. He hit his first $1 million year within his first full year in business. So we gave him a gold chain. We're shipping those things out to him. And we're actually going to have a whole display case back here with our gold chain people so we can take care of them in the right way. But decks, I talked to Luan about this, and he's like, yeah, man, I used to stain and seal these things, but I need to get a whole crew for that. And I want you to think about that for a second. If you have a whole crew of people, if you in the build situation are driving the narrative for you and your community that decks and fences need to get stained and sealed, and it should happen, I don't know, every 2 or 3 years, depending on the weather environment you're in. Think about how you're able to, one, take care of your customer if you position it in a way of, hey, you just spent $20,000 on this fence. We don't want this fence to be looking ugly in 3 years from now. So in 2.5 years from now, we should actually get this fence stained and sealed, which is going to be huge for you in maintaining this fence. And as you continue to grow and continue to get more customers in that way, you now have a recurring revenue model for that. All right. You feel good?
I'm good.
All right.
Last one. This is a fun one.
Here's the kicker. All right. Most people I talk to say, yeah, Chris, all this makes sense, but I do remodeling. I do custom homes. I do things like that, and I'm not sure how I can actually have a recurring revenue model. Now, I understand that. This takes a little bit more thought. To do it for the remodeling space takes a little bit more thought, but it's something that can be done and should be looked into. All right. Example, Bubba Hogan. Bubba Hogan, who does ponds, also does Christmas lights. Bubba's not on here right now, but I'm almost positive, and he charged me the same price he charges everybody else, which I'm thankful for because I don't want him giving me a deal because I want him to make sure that we get that same type of value to my actual family. but Bubba Hogan charged me $1,800 to put up Christmas lights on my house that will be there they're up today, so on the 22nd of November and probably until New Year's. So realistically, about 45 days of lights. I'm pretty sure Bubba rinsed the lights out. He installs the lights. He takes them down. And I'm almost positive he does about 80% margins on these jobs. Did you hear what I just said?
80%.
80% margins on doing Christmas lights. So, there's opportunities all around this, all right, to be able to do this in the remodeling space. All right, do you mind real quick bringing up the Hammer and Heart?
Yeah, I got it.
These are one of our clients. And I want you to specifically, before you show the page, kind of just go straight to their, they should have like a home improvement or home maintenance program. I want you to show that. But they actually have a reoccurring revenue model specifically for homeowners, and it's highlighted just like this. Let me know when you pull it up so I can be able to walk through it.
It is pulled up.
All right. So do me a favor, scroll down to the actual. Scroll down a little bit. Mm-hmm. I know I'm looking at the camera right now. It's a little delayed.
A little delayed. I know where you want me to go. To the plans?
Yep. Where are you at right now?
I got you. We got it pulled up. So we got biannually and quarterly.
All right. So we got the biannually and quarterly. All right. Scroll down a little bit so I can see the prices on this.
Yep. Let me see if I can. Give me a second.
All right. Let's get into it. All right. People, myself included, I'm not bougie, I don't think, but the ideas of changing certain filters, drain my water heater, test this, no joke. Yesterday we did HelloFresh, and I was cooking in the fire alarm, or what do you call that thing? Not fire extinguisher. What's that?
The what?
The smoke detector.
Oh.
Sorry, I couldn't think for a second. The smoke detector actually went off, and I was
did you set it off or did Megan set it off?
I set it off.
Okay.
I wouldn't embarrass Megan on here. But anyway, so I set it off, and I thought to myself, oh shoot, I hadn't never changed these batteries. Granted, I know that I have an electrical one, but they should have battery backups. And I thought to myself, I never changed these batteries, and I don't really want to get up there and actually have to change them. All right, so having a reoccurring revenue model in this space is also huge. It's also doable. All right. So we don't have to harp on this too long. We're going to go on that. Everybody feel good?
Yep.
If everybody feels good on knowing that your space can have a recurring revenue model, give me some thumbs up. All right. I'm not going to leave this section until we get that kind of confirmation. All right. So we got several people on this thing that are there on Facebook. We got several people who are on, go ahead and do me a favor. Go ahead and tag Gemma. She asked me to tag her.
Yep.
On that as well. But we got so many people on this situation. If you guys are good to go on that. They take 10 batteries. What does it say? They make 10-year batteries that cost around $30. Yep, that's awesome. And as a remodeler, I probably wouldn't buy them. I'd probably buy the ones that are cheaper so that I wouldn't need to do that. So I'd be able to have a recurring opportunity for that as well.
This is just a crazy list. This is the first time that I'm looking at it. And it really is just stuff that you don't even think about.
Like what? What stands out?
The drain the water heater, the clean AC compressor, the clean the microwave filter. A what?
Yeah.
Microwaves don't have filters. What are you talking about?
They certainly do, brother. I don't know where they're listed. I don't know where they're at, but they definitely do. All right, so everybody says we're good to go on that. All right, so let's get straight into it. So but think about that for a second. If I'm able to position myself in that way, I have a recurring revenue model, and $60 a month doesn't seem like much. $100 a month doesn't seem like much, but if I can actually have my house taken care of, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Yep.
All right, so let's get back to it. All right, so now we talk about recurring revenue model. Let's talk about the idea of foot in the door. This is probably my favorite subject in this vein of subjects, so I'm probably going to ramble a little bit. But before I do that, let's talk about the importance of the foot in the door.
Do you want to make more money, yes or no?
Yep, I guess that's a simple question. Do you want to make more money, yes or no? Do you want to be able to increase your job size, yes or no? Do you want to be a smart contractor that is actually valued for using his head, or do you want to just be a contractor that's only valued for using his hands and becomes a commodity? All right. So let's talk about this for a second. All right. In landscaping, there's so many foot in the doors, but I'm going to really highlight 2 of them today. All right. I'm going to highlight 2. Think about this for a second. If someone is getting a patio installed or repaired, installed or repaired, I'll ask Chris Zeke because he's on this call right now. All right. If someone's getting a patio installed or repaired, why are they getting this done? So anybody out there can answer, but specifically Chris Zeke, I want you to answer as well. If someone's getting a patio installed or repaired, why are they getting this done? What's motivating them to get this patio installed or repaired? While Chris out there in the metaverse types this thing up, Mike, what are your thoughts? Why does someone get this installed, a patio installed or repaired?
They just want a nice, comfortable place to hang out outside of their home. Like, it's just, I mean, I remember when we put ours in, like, it was just one of those things where we just moved into a new house, backyard was just flat, and you need something back there. So what better thing to have than to just have a place where you can just sit down and relax with family?
Gotcha. Love it. Terry said plan to entertain. Jason said family time. And Chris said spend time outside together. So we're all on the same page. All right. So if someone is looking for a space to entertain, plan to spend time outside, entertain other people, what they're actually saying, what they really want is an outdoor living space. All right, outdoor living space. We talked about this several times, but just for those who don't remember, an outdoor living space, we drive this narrative, but an outdoor living space consists of 4 elements. It consists of stone, wood, greenery, and a focal point. So if someone is getting a patio, maybe that's the stone. We want to suggest to them, hey, right now, you guys are getting this patio done. That's a great foot in the door. You don't necessarily have to say that, but that's a great foot in the door. Now it makes sense for us to talk to them about the other opportunities. Hey, what I'm normally hearing is people actually want an outdoor living space. Would it make sense to talk about outdoor living space? Oh, what's that? Well, that's going to be your stone, your wood, your greenery, your focal point. All right, so now that you're able to increase your job size. One of our success stories is a guy by the name of Anthony Abbott. And Anthony Abbott very specifically had a situation that was $75K job that turned to about $155K job because of the fact that they were able to do this that way. Mm-hmm. Do me a favor, go ahead and put that in the comments. Go ahead and put that link to that in the comments if you don't mind. All right.
Wait, Chris, link to what?
That YouTube video. All right, I see that. So Mike actually wrote these slides.
Yes.
Mike actually wrote these slides. So I'm actually going to do something real quick.
We're good.
I see a problem in the slides. So no big deal. On the slide right here, it talks about exploratory drain and clean. All right, exploratory drain and clean should be under landscaping. All right, because the greatest thing about exploratory drain and clean. Never mind. I just messed that up. Exploratory drain and clean is exactly where it needs to be. What I'm thinking right now is actually French drains. All right, so I'm talking about landscaping for another second. French drains. French drains are a great foot in the door as well. All right, do you know what a French drain is?
I do not. Is that just one of those big drains in the backyard or in like the front yards?
Yeah, so what it is when you have water piling up that can potentially damage your foundation or just like a eyesore or maybe getting mosquitoes and things like that. You have piling water in your backyard, you might potentially get a French drain, right? So the greatest thing about a French drain is this. It's an awesome foot in the door because the reality is there's actually a need, there's an active need for them to take care of you, right? So for the patio, maybe there's not necessarily a need for that, but for the French drain, there's a great need for it. So when someone is getting their backyard or their side yard, whatever it may be, getting a French drain done in their backyard to actually take care of their backyard, well, they're also a great foot in the door because you've now taken care of them in this way. You can talk to them about an outdoor living space as well. A French drain is also another great outdoor living space. There's so many more. Our legacy makers, we actually have a document on that. We actually give over to you guys as well. But there's so many opportunities you guys have as far as foot in the door. So be thinking why people buy. All right. I talked a little bit about this earlier. The idea of exploratory drain and clean, right? Yep. That's my great foot in the door. All right. Someone inherits a new pond. They have no idea how to maintenance it. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and, drain this thing, explore it a little bit, give some insight to the customer about exactly how this pond actually works. All right, so that's the exploratory drain and clean. And then now that's a great foot in the door for me to have a reoccurring revenue model in the future. All right, painting. Painting. Let's talk about painting for a second. Exterior to interior. Exterior to interior. We got Terry on this call. All right. We may have Philip Scott on this call. We may have some other painters on this call. All right. The reality is this. We all, and this is just like mowing, we all feel like we can paint inside of our own homes. We all feel like, I will not, but from the very basics of it all, we feel like, hey, we can paint. As a just a able-bodied citizen, we feel as if we can paint. So, the real foot in the door that painters have, all right, the real foot in the door that the painters have is doing the exterior. Driving the narrative of that the exterior painting should be done every 5 to 7 years, whatever that may look like, but also recognizing that people see you painting and say, you know what, I've been thinking about getting this place painted for a long time. He's over there. He's in my neighborhood. Might as well just reach out to him now to get it painted. Because we all have this guilt. We all have this guilt of getting someone to mow our yards. We all have this guilt of getting someone to paint in the interior of our houses, unless there's a large ceiling and things like that. Because we believe in ourselves that we should and can be getting it done ourselves. So the best foot in the door that you have as a painter is doing exterior work. All right, that should be your bread and butter. That's what you should actually advertise for. And recognizing that being that in the neighborhood, you should not leave a neighborhood without having a yard sign in front of that house. You should not leave a neighborhood without having door hangers in the surrounding houses. You should not leave a neighborhood without having having a great conversation with that homeowner, finding out the actual story and making sure that story is actually public on social media, either through post. I absolutely hate seeing, hey, call us for X, Y, and Z. Hey, look at this picture of this house. Call us for X, Y, and Z. All right, that does not do you guys diligence at all. Do you guys justice at all. What it does is it misses the mark. Remember that stories sell. All right, words are how we think. Stories are how we link. We need to make sure we're actually telling those stories. All right. Let's also get into, it says, because we have short exterior season, we tend to lean interior painting clients to get their exterior work due in a short timeline. We get more exteriors from doing good interior work first. I love that, Terry. Love that. So you guys are, in your situation, you guys are flipping that. And you're utilizing your interior painting as foot in the door to get your exterior painting jobs. Love that, Terry. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it works both ways if you can execute it well.
Exactly. And depending on your actual climate and environment. I know if your bread and butter is interiors and you have a short window for exteriors, then 100% lean into that.
Canada, man, it's cold.
It is cold. It is cold. Cold world, no blanket. All right. Remodeling. Simply put, the foot in door oftentimes is a bathroom. People get their bathroom remodeled first because they feel comfortable. Or with the contractor, hey, it's a smaller project. I feel comfortable. I'm not outside of, if I don't necessarily have to use this bathroom, I can use another bathroom for a time. And then maybe I'll get my kitchen taken care of. If I get my kitchen done first, I'm outside my kitchen for maybe 6 to 8 weeks, right? What's that going to look like for me in my kitchen? How am I going to do this? Do I trust this contractor first? All right. Understanding that a bathroom is a great opportunity for the foot in the door. All right. How you feeling so far, man?
Great. I love this stuff. This is business 301 is what it is.
Rick said, trying to figure out the reoccurring income into my excavation business. I have a great thought on that. Rick, what I want you to do right now is I want you to hit up Troy Gallantly. Do me a favor.
Drop Troy's.
Yeah, tag Troy on here and reply to him.
Yep.
Because I'm talking to Troy about this pretty soon. He does excavation right now, but there's a great opportunity that we have. And at the very least, there's a great opportunity for you to find some influencers in your area that are going to allow for your opportunity to happen way more effectively. All right, so we'll get into that as well, but do me a favor, reach out to Troy because I'm having a conversation with him pretty soon. He'll give you some good nuggets so we can kind of keep going on this. All right, lastly, calling back past customers. All right, the 3 things we got to get done. 1, have a recurring revenue model. 2, understand the foot in the door services that you have. All right, you should understand those services. And 3rd is calling back past customers. let me give you the backstory on this. This weekend, I saw a post talking about calling back past customers, and I saw somebody named Stephanie. She lives actually in Washington State, and I called her up and I said, hey, Stephanie, I want to give you some clarity on calling back past customers. What are your thoughts on everything? And she says, well, yeah, I see the value in it, but I feel a little slimy calling them back. And I said, why do you say that? Well, she says, well, I just do fences and I do decks, and I don't necessarily know if it makes sense for me to call them back. All right. Quentin asked what else to go foot in the door for decks. The reality is it's outdoor living spaces. I'm going to go back to this in a second. Quentin, before I kind of go down this long rabbit hole, you do outdoor living spaces, not just decks. Someone is getting a deck. Maybe your foot in the door actually is a deck. All right. Maybe your foot in the door is actually a deck in itself that turns into an actual outdoor living space. Because someone is getting a deck to spend time outside, they need to have an actual environment that makes sense. If your deck is wood, then you can include some stone, some greenery, and a focal point as well to be able to get to the outdoor living space. All right, Quentin, hope that was able to answer your question. All right, but let's get back to it. So going back to the story, Stephanie said that she needed to call back customers. She felt a little iffy doing it in her situation. And this is what I recognized. She did not understand the value that she provided to her homeowners. She didn't. She told me, I just do decks. And anytime I talk to any contractor out there that tells me they just do X, Y, and Z, that's the biggest sign I can see for them not understanding the value they provide to people. All right. When you call back past customers, first of all, you should be doing it. The first thing you need to do is you need to have a reason for calling them back. That can be done in a couple different ways, but you've got to do that. All right. We've got to have a reason for calling them back. All right. Let me tell you my favorite reasons in this space for calling people back. One, you should have a warranty. You should have a warranty. So you should normalize the idea that every 6 months, I'm going to call you back on your situation to see how things are going. Okay. So imagine, Mike, I'm calling you back. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mike, this is Chris from X, Y, and Z Company. Our season's slowing down. We make sure we reach out to all of our past customers to make sure things are going well. How's your deck going for you?
Right now, it seems that the color seems to be fading.
Gotcha. Boom. Example. So let's imagine he said those exact things. The color seems to be fading. I'm now able to get ahead of this situation to drive the narrative on what needs to actually happen. All right. Give me a more positive answer. Hey, how's your deck going?
It's fine. Like, there's no real issues with it or anything.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Have you guys been enjoying it at all?
Yeah, we seem to be out there a few times a week.
Oh, a few times a week. That's pretty awesome. I love to kind of highlight that. Like, what are you guys doing on the deck a few times a week?
My wife's been having some of her girlfriends over for girls' night, or whenever we have family gatherings here, everyone seems to hang out on the deck. Gotcha.
Boom. All right. I just dug a little bit deeper, and I found out some real-world examples of how he's actually utilizing his deck. All right. That's going to do a couple of things for me. One, it's going to help me realign with the actual value that I provide to people. If I know that his wife's girlfriends are coming over and spending time together, that's going to be huge. Yep. I just wanted to make sure everything's looking the way it should. I love that word track, Chris. All right. So if I'm able to get out of Mike that he's enjoying his deck, watch how I can transition this. Hey, Mike, it sounds like you're really enjoying your deck. I got two options I can go with this. Hey, we'd love to really highlight you. Is it cool if we came, like, if us and the team came out for like 15 minutes to kind of interview you on your actual deck to kind of highlight you and how you'd be able to utilize your deck?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right. So I now have an opportunity to be able to go back to that past customer's house and give the actual testimonial that I actually want off this project. One that actually tells the story. Because I'm going to get him to highlight the problem that Mike was dealing with before getting a deck. Mike, what prompted you to get a deck in the first place?
We just needed a space to hang out outside.
Gotcha. Did you guys not have a space before this?
No, we did not.
All right. So this was his issue beforehand. All right. What was he doing beforehand? We'll dive a little bit deeper when we actually get on real calls. Second thing is, hey, what was it? Walk me through the process like working with me. How was the process working with me on your deck?
Can you say that again? I was reading Jeremy's comment.
Gotcha. What was the process like working with you on this deck?
Yeah, it was really easy. You guys came in, you had a process. It was very easy to follow. You were very communicative and letting us know where we were at throughout all of it. And I really appreciated that.
Gotcha. Okay, so he walks through the process for us. All right, now we can talk about how he's utilizing this deck right now. That's gonna be a grand opportunity right there. Yesterday, I talked to Bob Turner on the phone. Bob Turner has like a 368K project that's he's bidding out right now. And the situation is he had a customer that said, or a prospect that said, hey, right now I'm choosing between you and somebody else. Can you give me some references? The reason why that person asked for that is because they want to make sure, what we all want to make sure of, is we're making the right decision. Anytime we're worried about money and things like that, it's because we want to make sure we make the right decision. That's what we all want to make sure we do. We have these thought processes in our head. We are concerned, anxious, and maybe even scared that we may not make the right decision. Bob was asked to give someone references. I want you guys to know this. If you guys are able to, one, know the value that you guys provide to people, and two, be able to highlight on this stuff, go to people's houses and actually film these kind of 15-minute videos, think about what kind of reference that's going to be for you. All right? Also, on that same conversation, hey, Mike, it sounds like you guys are enjoying your deck. If I sent you over a link, would you guys be kind enough to leave us a review?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I love it. And I'm going to send you over a link right now, but I'd love for you to highlight 3 things. 1, the problem you're dealing with before working with us. 2, the process like working with us, and don't be afraid to be specific. And then 3, how you guys are utilizing your space now that we're gone. All right, we're actually going to solve the problem for people that way. Second, it's going to stay top of mind for people. If I'm staying top of mind for people, I'm now offering them the opportunity to solve their problem faster than if I would have actually called, if I did not call them. That may be the project that you did, but more importantly, that's probably a project that you did not do, no one has done yet, but that's been paining them for some time, and they're looking to actually get this thing done. You must stay top of mind for your customers. You have a responsibility to them to do so. Because when you stay top of mind, I'll give you an example. CGN is not perfect. We're really freaking good, but we are not perfect. A lot of the advancements that we make are the byproduct of us reaching out to our customers, asking them how things are going. We used to just give the coaching via videos. There was no accountability for them. There was no coaching calls. We always wanted people to implement our actual system because we know that it actually works. But we can't just say, oh, we were able to give the information out there on videos, but no one's actually following it. Or there's a handful of people or the people who are following are actually going to the moon. We have a responsibility to readjust and say, hey, we have a responsibility to our community to make sure they're actually implementing this stuff. So we need to have accountability surrounding this as well and coaching. We don't get that information unless we call back past customers. So you should be doing 3 things.
Wait, hang on. There's one more thing I want to touch on. With you being on Facebook a lot, and I see this a lot too, so often we see different contractors just post pictures of projects, and the caption is just very simply, hey, so-and-so just got a brand new outdoor living space, get yours, request a quote with the link down below, and then you guys direct them to the website. Full disclosure, that's not a good social media post, especially when you have the opportunity to highlight the stories of your customer. So that's why when you ask those questions of what was it like working with us? Hey, you got a great experience. Do you mind if we come out and record a video or, just get like some more quotes from you? That is what you need to be posting when it comes to social media. Because there's a difference when you are scrolling through Facebook and you stop and you read a post all about how Johnny and his wife and his 2 kids are now having the time of their lives in their new outdoor living space. His wife's having her friends come over all the time. The kids are playing soccer outside in the backyard. That hits so much harder than Johnny and his family just got a brand new outdoor living space. request a quote, schedule a consultation using the link below. There's a tangible difference there. So I just want to point that out.
If I send this over to you, if I send it over to you via text, will you be able to? Bob Turner, one of our clients, had an awesome.
My name is Dr. Schumann. I work.
Let me see if I copied it. I'm sent to you via text, and then I hope
Post
you
it in the chat.
Post it in the chat because
Yep.
he did a great job on this. I don't know if it actually will go through this way because maybe I'm not sure if it's a. I'm not sure you can do that, but he did a great job on doing this recently. Because if you're able to tell the story and recognize that you are just the guide, all right, there's 3 parts to any story. There's the hero, there's the problem/villain, and there's the guide. Far too often, people or contractors are focused on being the hero. That's why we see so much of the we on contractors' websites. We've been in business this long. We focus on this. We provide high luxury this. We do this. I challenge you right now. If you go on your website right now and you see a lot of we, our, you need to go ahead and click that link, that form, and have a call with one of us so you can actually change your system. If you are looking to if you are looking to best take care of your client, you are looking to do so in the guide role. All right, not as the hero. Do not have hero bias. Thanks, man. Thanks for posting that.
Yep.
All right. In the chat right now is a great client testimonial video that Bob Turner and his team put together. All right. If you guys are focused on the wrong things, you're going to get results not aligned with what you guys actually want to have happen. You cannot focus yourself on being the hero. If you highlight your customers, hey, do you mind if I highlight you on a story? Hey, do you mind if we came out there and spent 15 minutes with you and your family so I could highlight you and your experience? That's a great opportunity there. There's a reason why real estate agents prep their houses. All right, there's a reason why they actually furnish the houses. They stage them because it tells the story differently than just the empty space with the walls. You need to recognize that you have to be that guide. All right, you have the hero of the story, who should be your client. The problem they were dealing with, which you need to actually find out. You need to search for those problems. All right, in the Shin Fu, they talk about getting to the motive. You need to search for those problems on a consistent basis. All right, so if you just think to yourself, my client just wants this deck just because they want to get outside, then that's not it. Today I had a sales call with someone. Jamie Ray actually recommended us out to another person up there in the Southampton, New York area, and they said they want to go from $500,000 to $1 million. And I said, okay, just curious, why is that? Well, it's doubling the stuff. I said, well, potentially doubling the stuff could just simply mean doubling the headache that you're currently dealing with right now. Why $1 million? And well, I really want to do it for my family. Walk me through, like, what does that mean for your family? Does that mean vacations, X, Y, and Z? She said, yeah, vacations, we can do vacations. And I said, hey, can you do vacations right now? She said, yeah, we can do vacations right now. I said, okay, well, why $1 million? And when we really get to it, she talks about how it's so important for her to be able to get her child like one-on-one lessons. I mean, she's an Ecuadorian family, of Ecuadorian descent, and all of her previous, I guess, like family members have played soccer, but her son plays tennis right now and is really good at tennis. So much so that she wants to inspire him, took him to the U.S. Open there in New York and said, hey, I want to inspire you to do this. What I'm hearing right now is very similar to the story of, King Richard I watched previously with Venus and Serena Williams, but she wants to be able to give her son private coaching because she knows what that can do for him and his ability to actually fulfill on what she thinks is important for him, what he actually really enjoys to do. So I have to get into that motive. I have to find out why someone's actually looking to get this done. Why did I get Christmas lights on my house? The reason why is because I'm flying back home. Me and Olivia and Megan, Olivia's getting her first flight at the age of 4 months. I'm going back to Memphis, Tennessee. I want to build those memories now. I want to be able to go to my house, drive up to my house, that I grew up in and see Christmas lights there. We're probably not going home for Thanksgiving. For Christmas. So during Thanksgiving, I get to actually see these Christmas lights. It's going to make me feel a certain way. That's what I'm paying for. I paid $1,800 for Christmas lights that are going to be in my house for probably 45 days. But the reason why is because I want to be able to actually see them and enjoy them and just have that feeling of Christmas again. So if you guys are not focusing on these things, you're really hurting yourselves. All right, so first and foremost, one, think with your mind. Get a recurring revenue model. It allows for you to do so much more, allows for you to forecast, allows for you to take care of your overhead and be able to have a cushion in your business. Two, understand the concept of a foot in the door. You need to be thinking of how a foot in the door can take care of you. Honestly, once again, excavation could be a foot in the door for an outdoor living space as well. If someone's looking to get some grading done on their yard, it's probably because they want to be able to enjoy their yard, which is a great opportunity for an outdoor living space. You should understand the concepts of foot in the door and how it takes care of your business. All right. The third thing is calling customers back. You need to have a reason to call them back. All right. You're calling them back and you should do that on a consistent basis. No customer of yours should go more than 6 months from getting a call from you. And saying that right now is I'm going to put this on Allie. So go ahead and tag Allie in this. I'm going to put this on Greg, who'll be our new client success coach. And I'll put this on Jennifer. Absolutely amazing. Jennifer Buchanan is coming on board with us. She teaches other leaders and things like that. She's going to be our CS or client success, leader. But there should be no instance at all in which clients are going more than 3 to 6 months of hearing from you. All these things will drive the revenue in your business. All right. Thanksgiving is coming up. I won't see you guys before then. All right. So have a fantastic Thanksgiving. All right. Before we go, I'm going to ask you 2 Thanksgiving questions.
Okay.
Actually 3.
Let's go.
First thing, cranberry sauce or no cranberry sauce?
No cranberry sauce.
Okay. This guy's a freaking monster because the answer is cranberry sauce.
Do you like how fast I answered that?
I don't like how fast you answered it because you answered the wrong way. Cranberry sauce is the way to go. I'm actually a fan of the non-chunky, just the nasty, generic, out of a can jelly cranberry sauce. That's my go-to.
Okay, weirdo.
All right. Do you do dressing or stuffing?
Neither.
What is wrong with you?
Have we not
Legitimately,
talked about this?
I don't think Mike would have hired you. Or sorry, I don't think Logan.
I hired myself, yes.
Yeah, I don't think Logan would have hired you if you knew that you didn't do this. This is really weird. All right, third question. Gosh, man.
You're so scared to ask this, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, Brian says I have to go. Oh, Jeremy is also very much
Are you
here.
what's like the one thing your family eats for Thanksgiving that's like a big deal for you guys?
Cheesy potatoes.
Okay. We eat fried turkey. We always fry turkey every year.
Okay.
So that's my thing. All right. Well, you guys have a great Thanksgiving. You guys take care. Once again, if you guys want to hear more how you can actually put this in your works for your business in itself, 1, become a wealth builder, then become a legacy maker, and then 2, we take you guys to the moon. Let's get it. Talk to you guys soon. See ya next Monday.